Hi, we're downrange today with the Hawkens 50 caliber. This is a Thompson Center replica 50 caliber Hawkens. It's a black powder muzzle loader. They call it, they're called the cap and balls because it uses a percussion cap, lead ball in the barrel. You can also shoot mini balls and sabots or sabots. I don't know how you pronounce it for sure. I'll show you those later. We'll go through loading it here in a little bit and show you some shots of it downrange. One of the really neat features about this gun is it's got what's known as double set triggers. Basically, I don't know, I'll show them to you here. Basically what it is you pull the hammer back, set the thing, and then your back trigger here is your set trigger. You pull it back and it actually clicks and locks, and then makes this trigger here a lot lighter pull trigger. Makes it a lot easier to do accuracy shots, things like that. That was one of the things that drew me to the weapon. I have a lot of other, or not a lot, I have other guns at home, and this one here is probably one of my favorite ones to shoot, besides the fact that it's cheap. It's a muzzle loader, so you don't shoot a whole bunch at a time, and the double set trigger makes it really accurate. It's a nice shooting gun. Thing is, you can shoot like the typical lead balls here. Most of my boxes there say Hornady, which is what I shoot a lot of, but actually these here are cast. A friend of mine cast these for me, and it also shoots the mini balls here. A friend of mine cast these for me, and then it shoots these. I call them sabots. From my Army days, they were called the sabot type round. My friend calls them sabots because that's the way they're spelled. You know, you can decide what you want. But those are just three of the different things that you can shoot through the. Some of the other things you need, besides the balls, ammo, is gunpowder. The bottom piece is what they call a powder horn. This is a traditional way of doing it, the olden days. It's just basically a cow horn that's been hollowed out and drilled through and made to hold gunpowder. The piece behind it, that's a brass gunpowder flask, and then you can see on the top here it has a cone. You can buy different ones of those that will adjust the amount of grain gunpowder that you throw. They call it throwing powder, and basically the way it works is you turn the thing upside down. You can see the little thumb thing on the side. When you push that off to the side, it opens a door inside that allows that nozzle to fill full of gunpowder. Then you shut that off, turn it right side back up, and dump it into what you're pouring it into, and that will be that particular nozzle there. I think it's a 30 grain, and the rifle actually shoots 90 to 100 grains is what I usually shoot in it. So that's the gunpowder end of it that you need. There's, like I say, a couple of different ways to go about doing that. You know, along with the gunpowder, you need some way to measure it. I had said that how this throws a certain amount of grains. This is what I use to measure with, and it's just basically it's an adjustable tool that you can set it up to. You can set it up with this scale here to throw several different sizes of grains for pistols, rifles, whatever. You can see the thing in here kind of moves in and out with it to set how much you're doing. But I use that, set it at 90 grains. I fill it with either the powder horn or with the flask. I've always used a flask in the past. Today I'm going to try the powder horn just to see how traditional I could be. Along with after you do the gunpowder in it, when you load it, then you'll also need a wicking or a lube patch. This is the new way of doing it. These are lube patches. I mean, not new, been around for forever, I suppose. But these are just pre-lube patches, already pre-lubed, pre-cut. They're quick, they're easy to do, except for getting them out of the bag and separating them. This is the more traditional way of doing it. It's called pillow ticking. And my friend, he swears he shoots this, and basically you just rip off long strands of it, and it has to be moistened down or lubricated. I actually have used this Natural Lube Plus on it and lubricated a little bit. It's a little bit expensive to do that, but it seems to work real good. My friend just puts the piece of the strip in his mouth and sucks on it while he's shooting, so that lubes it up that way. Along with the patch, you also need something to put your ball in. That's called a short starter rod there. It starts the ball at the very beginning, and then you use the longer piece to shove it down a little further, and then you use the rod that comes in the gun to go ahead and shove it the rest of the way in. And you also need percussion caps. Those are what makes the spark that sets off the gunpowder that sets off the shot. Okay, let's see about loading this thing. I'm going to use the flask just because that's what I'm used to using, and it'll be a little quicker for this, I think, than messing with the powder horn. I've got the little measuring tool set up here at 90 grams, which we're going to shoot 90 grams. We're going to shoot just lead balls, and I'm using one of the pre-lube patches. Basically what I do here is just turn it upside down, and I know if I let it run until it bottoms out about so far, pull it out here, perfect. I get 90 grains. I think I said grams earlier, and I'm sorry, it should be grains. There is a difference. So you take that, I've already checked the gun, made sure there's no issues with it. So we're going to dump the gunpowder in. Now, one thing I've learned from experience with these is it's real easy to get interrupted in the middle of loading it and come back and go, did I put the powder in? Did I put the ball in? Where am I at? A couple of suggestions, mark your rod once you get one loaded. Mark the rod so you know when you've got the gunpowder and ball in there, you know about how much of your rod is sticking out or sticking in. I think you can probably also mark it maybe with the gunpowder too, so that if you've already got bumped with gunpowder. One thing I tend to do is I always just leave that sitting in my barrel until I'm ready to go on to the next step, so that way I know there's gunpowder in the gun. Next step, of course, is the ball and the patch. Like I say, I'm using the pre-lube patches I bought at Cabela's. And put one of those on there like so. Put your ball in the center. These are homemade cast balls here, so they've got a little bit of sprue on the end of them where they're making the tool, so you make sure that's up. Put your short starter there and give it a little pop. Get the ball started. Use this, drive the rest of the way down. Excellent. Once that's done, you pull out your little rod here, whip it around, stick it in there. Then there's a palm saver hole on the end of this. You stick it on your rod like so. Drive the ball the rest of the way down. We've got a percussion cap on there, so we're ready to go. Let's go see if we can make her shoot.